right, that was a insane third degree. I got pulled up by the first guy. This is just to come in. I got pulled up by the first guy. Then I had to see the second guy, or the second lady, and then I had to give my, you got to give your name and all your details, and I had to see the supervisor, and then finally after, oh shit, look at all these chairs everywhere. After, a long period of chit-chat, it's like then, okay, you can come in. It's like, anyway, it is what it is. But so this is it's put on by the Zionist Association, or Zionist Federation of New South Wales, and it's, I think this is the wind. The wind probably took care of all these chairs here, but this is called Rodney Reserve in Sydney at Dover Heights, and there's a good number of people. I probably should have come a bit later, so I didn't have to, go through all that to get in. But it was the same last time. Last time I came here was 2 years ago, and Dutton was here chit-chatting away with everyone, and it was it was quite interesting. So I'll go around this way. It's kind of funny to go to any other thing. It's just you walk in, you do it. But this was just like second level. I'm not sure if they're going to fill all these bloody chairs. I'm not sure if they're going to fill all these chairs, but maybe they will. It's a fair way to go. Anyway, let's get in and we'll have a look and see what's happening. It's kind of a bit too much what they do. You got the police courses are here. You got more cops there. You got this completely fenced off. The whole thing has been fenced off. You've got like a massive amount of staging. It's very similar to 2 years ago. It was very awkward getting questioned over and over to come in. Anyway, it is what it is. And there's very little media here. Like I think I've seen one like reasonably large TV. They have their own. They kind of have their own media-y type thing in the middle there where they film. But there's a lot of there's more people arriving. I don't know really how big the number's going to be. It's starting to rain now. It's kind of awkward. Like other things, other things aren't like this. You don't have to go through this. There's a level of people are concerned in the community. Anyway, look, I'll just chill out and try and stay out of trouble till it kicks off, and we'll see. I'm not going to get in trouble, I hope, but we'll see how it goes anyway. All right, it's about 15 minutes or 10 minutes to go. There's some famous and semi-famous people here. That's Mark Leach from the Never Again Is Now, and then Nova Peris, who's getting just here in the blue. And there's a Spender, whatever her name is, the Allegra. She was here a minute ago. I didn't film her though. So that's Alex Rifkin, who's the Deputy Executive Council of Australian Jewellery boss, CEO, I think. It's quite the crowd. It's getting bigger and bigger as the time goes on. It's actually just stopped raining. I've been standing under an umbrella for a fair while. But yeah, a few rollies in the audience there. The last time I came, Dutton spoke, which was 2 years ago pretty much, today. I'm not sure who is going to be speaking today, but we'll wait and see. Like maybe Nova Peris, I'm not sure. Other than that, I can't, I spotted a few more people. I'm not very sure spotting them anyway, but there's a few more sort of famous type people last time. But let's wait and see how it goes. And Susan Lee is here as well now. There's a bit of a slight, or liberal anyway. What's his name? Lisa Lay and I should know, but they're all here anyway. Getting a few shots from the media, because Dutton was here last time, so I guess Susan here this time for it. Let's get back into position again, waiting. And there's Allegra Spender as well. So Allegra, Susan Lay, Mark Leach. I'm not sure of the others. All the VIPs, I guess, have got the front row seats. And it's about to kick off, they said, finally. So it's kind of just cleared just now, it's only just stopped raining just for a moment. A few rollies still. Yeah, a little bit clearer than it was anyway. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure Susan Lay will be speaking, among others. Yeah. All right, I think we're about to begin.
Friends, before we begin this evening's commemoration, after the good news that we've heard in the last few days, news that we've been waiting for over 2 years, and news that will please God we'll be able to see and watch tomorrow, before anything else, I think it's appropriate to make a blessing, which you can do together with me. Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Shehecheyanu v'kiyimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed be you, Hashem our God, King of the universe, who has sustained us, kept us alive, and enabled us to reach this time. I'm now going to hand over to Rabbi Gabi to blow the shofar.
Friends, yes, we celebrate in anticipation the freeing of our dear hostages, but tonight we still remember the holy souls of those that perished 2 years ago on the darkest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust in our very own holy land, Israel. We are now at the end of the festival of Sukkot. The Sukkah, a symbol of the Jewish people, can be somewhat fragile. It is a temporary and flimsy hut that could so easily be blown away by the wind. And yet, that Sukkah has endured thousands of years of strong winds and storms and is here to stay for eternity. So tonight we commit to be part of that eternal Sukkah, to strengthen our faith and to nurture our Jewishness. We stand as one people in total unity with our brothers and sisters in Israel. Tonight we are also joined and supported by so many friends here in Australia. Am Yisrael Chai.
What is that? What is that thing?
Shalom Chaverim, Erev Tov L'Kulam. Good evening, friends. Look around you. Thousands of us are gathered here in Sydney and across New South Wales to remember, to honour and to stand together. But at this very significant moment in history, we are also here to pray for peace, to pray for the fulfilment of the first stage of the deal and for the hostages to be reunited with their loved ones. Our hearts are in our throats. We live suspended. Alavai, may the hostages come home tomorrow. On behalf of the Zionist Council of New South Wales and our community organisations, it is my privilege to welcome you to this official commemoration of October 7. We acknowledge that Susan Lay, Federal Member of the Opposition, Mark Speakman, MP, New South Wales Leader of the Opposition, Marjorie O'Neill MP, State Member for Coogee, representing Chris Minns, thank you for being here, thank you for your leadership and support. We also thank the many other ministers, MPs, commissioners, secretaries, mayors, and members of the diplomatic and interfaith communities joining us here tonight. Your presence gives us strength. A special welcome too to our regional Jewish communities joining from Newcastle, the Southern Highlands, the Blue Mountains and the Northern Rivers. You are all here because you know that today, October 7, is a day of global significance. The barbarism unleashed that day was an attack on all we hold dear: freedom, safety, and the right to live in for each of us, it shattered something deep within. idealism for some, pacifism for others. October 7, it shattered the illusion that hatred can be wished away if only we wish hard enough for peace. Yet in that shattering, something else was revealed, a deeper unity, a greater strength. Here in Sydney, that unity has carried us. Even as social cohesion frays, our community becomes more connected, more determined. And beyond the Jewish community, brave and principled Australians have stood with us to grieve, to remember, and to never forget. We thank you. We, the Australian, Jewish and Zionist community, are people who long for peace with every cell of our being. But October 7 confronted us with a truth we can't ignore. There are those who simply hate us for being who we are, and they showed it through unspeakable acts of barbarism, taking hostages, killing innocent people of all ages from over 30 countries and many religions. It was evil. It is evil. And yet, as Rabbi Wolf reminded me and all of us in Shul on Rosh Hashanah, we can't look at the world with one eye. One eye, yes, must see the horror and the pain. The other must see the good, the love, the support, the resilience. And tonight, b'yachad, together, we hold both eyes open. One on the loss and captivity still unresolved, and one on the unity and future we will build together here in New South Wales, you and I, along with our brothers and sisters in Israel. Unity is our strength. It fills us with the gvura, the bravery that has carried our people throughout history. And so tonight we take on three sacred tasks: to remember, zikaron, to remember the lives lost on October 7 and since; to honor the gvura, the bravery of Am Yisrael, defending home and community and all of us; and to kindle tikva, the hope for a future of safety and peace. Now, among the victims was Australian citizen Galit Carbone, zichronah livracha. We are very honoured that her brother, Geoffrey Majzner, survivor from Kibbutz Be'eri, is our keynote speaker tonight. His presence reminds us that October 7 is part of our own Australian story, binding us even closer to our mishpacha, to our family in Israel. Throughout this evening, you'll hear voices that matter. The voice of Israel's ambassador, Amir Maimon, the voices of young Israelis, the voice of Indigenous leader, Peris, and William Cooper's great-great-grandson, Michael McDonogh. And through a special video presentation, you'll hear the voices of our wider Australian community, leaders of faith, politics and culture, all reminding us and reminding you that we are not alone. As Israeli journalist Chaviv Retik Gur reminds us, Zionism at its heart is the belief that Jews take the responsibility for the fate of the Jews. That we, the indigenous people of Israel, all of us, b'yachad, together with all our allies, we secure our own future. That's why we're here, to remember, to stand in solidarity, and above all, to shine our light and affirm life, and to say with one voice, Am Yisrael Chai.
Proverb says that hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is like a tree of life. And over the last 2 years, we have collectively endured a devastating season of hope deferred and debilitating heart sickness. But as we stand here this evening, the tree of life, the longing fulfilled, is already taking root. The green shoots, the hope of our hostages returned, and the end of this war is blooming before our very eyes. My prayer tonight is that that tree of life, that longing fulfilled, would bloom for generations to come, fed from heaven itself, deep-rooted, not just in Israel, but here in Australia, in every home, every university, every school, every neighbourhood, and of course, in our Houses of Parliament. And as I light this candle tonight, would you please join with me for a moment's silence? Thank you.
El male rachamim, ochein bameromim, ametzei menucha nechona, al kanefei hashechina. במעלות קדושים טהורים וגיבורים כזוהר הרקיע מהירים ומזהירים לנשמות הקדושים אזרחי ישראל אנשים, נשים וטף שנהרגו, שנרצחו, שנשרפו, שנטבחו בידי מרצחי החמאס בני העוולה ומסרו נפשם על קידוש השם בהתקפה האכזרית על יישובי מדינת ישראל ולנשמות חיילי צבא הגנה לישראל שוטרי משטרת ישראל ואנשי כוחות הביטחון שמסרו נפשם על קדושת השם ונפלו מות גיבורים בקרבות על הגנת העם והארץ. שאנו מתפללים לעילוי נשמותיהם בגן עדן תהא מנוחתם לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסדר כנפיו לעולמים יצרור החיים את נשמותיהם אדוני הוא נחלתם וינוחו בשלום על משכבותם ויעמדו לגורלם לקיץ הימים ונאמר וערי אלוהינו מגבול הלבנון ועד מדבר מצרים ומן הים הגדול עד לבוא הערבה ביבשה לפניהם. הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמור ויציל את חיילינו מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה. ישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם. יבר שרינינו תחתיהם ויעטרם בכתר ישועה ובעטרת ניצחון ויקוים בהם הכתוב כי אדוני
ago, I woke to the sound of sirens. I remember jumping out of bed, my phone lighting up with alerts, not yet understanding the scale of the horror unfolding. In those first moments, I called the people I love, checking in, waiting for them to answer, praying that the next message would be, I'm safe. That day carved itself into me. Hamas infiltrated Israel by air, land, and sea. I can still see the images of terrorists driving into Israel towns in white pickup trucks. I can still feel the vibration of rockets overhead and hear the fearful voices of those in the safe room. Everyone in Israel was affected that day. Over the past 2 years, we have spoken in numbers. More than 1,200 people murdered. Over 250 taken hostage. More than 1,000 children left orphan. But today, I want to talk about the people behind those figures, the faces, the families, the stories of unimaginable loss. Last July, I walked through Kibbutz Be'eri with Danny Majzner, who is here with us tonight, where he and his sister Galit Carbone once lived. As you know, Danny and Galit were born in Australia, but chose to make Israel and Kibbutz Be'eri their home. Danny survived the massacre, emerging after 30 hours in his safe room, only to learn that his sister had been murdered just streets away. Danny has since opened his home and his heart to every Australian delegation and visitor who has come to bear witness. He returns again and again, ensuring that the world does not look away, that the stories of each member of Be'eri, of all the innocent lives taken too soon, are never forgotten. This week, I had the honor accompanying Danny as he met Prime Minister Albanese and Foreign Minister Wong. He spoke to them about Hamas brutality and made clear that Australia must ensure Hamas has no role in Gaza's future governance, so that he and his family can one day return safely to Be'eri. I think too of the Bibas family. Everyone here remembers their faces, the bright red hair, the Batman costumes, the innocence that capture a nation's heart. It is one thing to see their photos on posters, but another to stand outside their home, blood-stained and blackened, from where they were so brutally taken. When I visited near Oz last year, we still held on the collective hope that they would return home alive. We now know that Shiri, Ariel, and Kfir were murdered by their captors, a mother and her babies, full of life, slaughtered by terrorists. Their home now stands as a silent memorial to what October 7th truly took from us. Earlier this year, Yarden, the father and the husband, returned to Israel to a life without his wife and children. We will not forget October 7th, nor its victims, including members of my own family. Maor Shalom, who was 46, Ido Harush, who was 21. We'll remember also Shani, just 22, when she was murdered at the Nova Festival, and her body paraded through Gaza. Sagi Golan, 30 years old, murdered just 13 days before his wedding. And the entire Simatov family, Yonatan and Tamar, their 5-year-old twin daughter, Shachar and Arbel, and their little boy, Omer, only 2. I could go on naming each and every victim. We remember them all. These 2 years have brought immeasurable hardship, yet those who have suffered most are the ones who teach us the meaning of strength, courage, and hope. A few weeks ago, I hosted released hostage Eli Sharabi in Canberra. After 491 days in Hamas captivity after the murder of his wife, Lian, his daughters, Noya and Yahel, and his brother, Yossi, Eli stood before Australia's most senior leaders and said 2 simple words: choose life. Those words were not a slogan. They are a guide for all of us who are hurting. When confronted with despair, answer with hope. When faced with hatred, respond with life. This weekend, we collectively hold our breath, cautiously optimistic that soon, tomorrow, our prayers will be answered and our brothers and sisters will return home
to their families. The thought of their return fills my heart with deep relief and gratitude, yet also with sorrow for those who will never come home. The Torah teaches that we bear a sacred duty to redeem those held captive, to never rest while even one of our people remains in the hands of the enemy. That duty has guided us through months of anguish, united us in faith, and strengthened our resolve as a people. I hope that in the coming days we can begin our collective recovery. While Israel felt the full force of that horrific day, the effects rippled across the world. Jewish communities everywhere and here felt the pain, the fear, and the loss. Many of you have family and friends in Israel, know someone who was injured, killed, or taken hostage, and have been dealing with challenges and hatred at home as well. The world's oldest hatred, antisemitism, has resurfaced, more public and violent than we have seen in generations, targeting Jewish communities everywhere. Yet, you have stood steadfast. I commend you for standing strong and proud in your Judaism, continuing to show up, practice your faith, and support one another, even in the darkest of times. Before I conclude, I want to say a word to you, the Sydney Jewish community. Toda. Thank you for your tirelessly standing by Israel and the Israeli people. Since October 8th and well before it, you have put up posters, organized vigils, led delegations, advocated, and ensured that Australians would not forget the horrors of October 7th. Your solidarity has not gone unnoticed. The road ahead is long, but we walk it together as one people, bound by memory, faith, and an unshakable belief in life. We will rebuild what was destroyed, protect what we cherish, and ensure that our children inherit a future filled with peace, safety, and hope. And as Eli Sharabi reminded us, even after unimaginable loss, we must always choose life. Am Yisrael Chai.
עמוד האש שוקם, אשיר בלי די, אפרוס ידיי לידידיי אשר מעבר.
I begin by acknowledging that we gather today on the lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of these ancient lands, and I pay my respect to the elders past and present, and to all First Nations people here tonight. I stand before you today as Yaru Lungagija and Wunich Gagaju woman, and like all Aboriginal people, I affirm this truth. Our land has never been ceded. And just as my people hold an unbroken connection to our country, so too have the Jewish people maintain your unbroken connection to the land of Israel. Two peoples worlds apart, bound by ancient stories of survival, sovereignty, faith, and endurance. And amidst Tararet Amokot, I once again offer my deepest condolences to you all, the Jewish people. I'm sorry for the lives lost, and I'm sorry for the families that continue to mourn loved ones. And I pray with you all for the safe return of those still held hostage enduring 2 years of hell. And I pray with you all and the whole of Israel that continues to defend herself. Last year I travelled to Israel for the first time. And it was there I met Geoffrey, who was speaking tonight. I went to Kibbutz Be'eri, just 2 kilometers from Gaza, where more than 100 innocent civilians were murdered cold blood inside their homes. The stench of death still lingered. And when I visited there, Geoffrey took me to his sister Galit's house, where she was murdered. That moment has never left me. And Geoffrey, I want to say to you that I will never forget what you did that day. Despite your grief, you were able to take me through your kibbutz and talk to me how a place that once eradicated peace and love was so cruelly turned into a massacre site. Geoffrey, your ability to have stayed strong then and now is a testament to you. Your strength gives voice to those no longer with us. I have so much love for you, Geoffrey, and I'm truly sorry. I was there, and then it was there that I truly understood more deeply that your grief, Geoffrey, is not only yours, but it also belongs to all of humanity. And it is why I stand with you. I will never waver after seeing the evil, and I want you to all know today that is why many Aboriginal people stand with you, and why I will continue to speak truth, even when it is hard. The voices of those who fear speaking up know that I will do it for them, and that they are the wind in my sail. You see, our histories, Aboriginal and Jewish, have crossed before. On the 25th of September 1918, the 11th Light Horseman Regiment, known as the Queensland Black Watch, for its many Aboriginal troopers, fought the Battle of Samak near Sea of Galilee. It was a daring pre-dawn cavalry assault on a strategic railway station. 17 Australians were killed, more than 36 wounded. Among them were Aboriginal men whose names in history did not record because prejudice denied them recognition back here in Australia. Yet today, on Israeli soil, their sacrifice is honoured. In 2019 at Samak, a statue of Aboriginal light horseman Jack Pollard and his horse was unveiled. The inscription reads, "No greater love than this." When I visited Israel this year, in June 2025, where I endured 6 days of a 12-day war, I raised the Aboriginal flag at that very statue honouring Jack Pollard. Two Aboriginal and Jewish, value family and tradition. And so I want to share something special with you tonight about that statue and the ceremony held in June. When the statue was created, Jack's grandson, Mark Pollard, posed as Jack. A month after I returned from that ceremony in Israel, I received a message in turn from Mark Pollard's own grandson. This young Aboriginal man wrote to me. He said, "Hello Nova, I just wanted to let you know that Mark Pollard, the man who impersonated the law enforcement statue of Jack Pollard, passed away last night. Thank you so much for putting us all on the map when you went over to Israel and posted that photo and raised the Aboriginal flag. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to go over there myself and see it for myself. Thank you for the history lesson. I really appreciate it." Those words remind us that the bond between our people is alive, rooted in sacrifice, history and truth. And it's not just me across this country. Aboriginal voices are rising in support of you Jewish people. When Western Australian Kimberley's sister wrote to me, "My Jaja, my grandmother, was instrumental in keeping several groups together by following the principles of the Exodus and the Bible. She taught me to honour the Jews, to stand with the displaced people, and to let their silence speak. Division brings healing God's way." Just this morning, another message reached me. An Aboriginal woman living in a remote Aboriginal community wrote, "Hi Nova, we are about to study a bit of your life, and I saw your post honouring Israel. I just think it's perfect timing. I praise God for your heart, your hard work. You're a good example of us all. You shine the Lord's light." It's messages like these that give me the wind in my sail. It is knowing that many of my people, Australia's First Nations people, stand with the Jewish people, that keeps me strong. It gives me the determination to keep going no matter the opposition, no matter the hate. And hate we know is rising. In these 2 years since October 7, 2023, we've seen the burning of synagogues, vile graffiti sprayed across Jewish schools and marches through our streets where mobs are calling for the eradication of Israel. They chant from the river to the sea, but we all know what those words mean. This destruction of the Jewish ancient homeland and its people. But let me be clear, and I will continue to say it, Israel is not going anywhere, and nor are her people. The Jewish people are not going anywhere, although you in front of me, living here in the diaspora, I tell you this, and don't you ever forget it. You are strong, you are resilient, and you are all David against every Goliath. And you are indigenous to your land. Know that I see you, I believe you, and so many of my people see you. As a Christian, I remind my fellow 2.5 billion believers, our faith did not appear in a vacuum. Every prophecy Christians hold about Jesus comes from Hebrew texts. Jesus is Jewish, his disciples were Jewish. Christianity stands on Hebrew scripture. Hebrew thought, Hebrew language. Without Judaism, there is no Christianity. As Paul himself said in Romans 11:18, "You do not support the root, but the root supports you." Similarly, as we all know, even the Quran affirms the connection of the Jews to the land of Israel, mentioning the children of Israel more than 40 times. It never once mentions Palestine. Your roots are deep, your connection unbroken, and just as our Aboriginal languages connect us to country, ancestors and spirit, so too does the Hebrew connect you to Hashem and the land of Israel. My people know dispossession. We know the pain of being denied dignity. You too know dispossession. You too know survival, and that is why our struggles echo each other and why our solidarity matters. Yet even now, the Parliament signals recognition of a Palestinian state, not after peace, not after recognition, negotiation, not after the return of hostages, but in the shadow of blood. Yet us Aboriginal people here at home, we are still waiting for recognition in our own constitution. Under our current constitution, the Parliament tomorrow with existing powers could legislate a state of Aboriginal people. We are 65,000 years of continuous existence and sovereignty, but no statehood. Think about that. How can Australia reward terror abroad while refusing justice at home? In the face of all these difficulties, both our peoples know something greater. We know survival, we know resilience, and we know the truth. We see stars in the darkness. So tonight, let's all be brave like the light horsemen at Schmuck, steadfast like William Cooper, who stood up against the Nazis, faithful like the Jewish people themselves, who through every exile, every pogrom, every massacre, still declare, Am Israel High. The people of Israel live. I see you, I see your resilience, I see your rootlessness in the land of your ancestors. You are not invaders, you are not occupiers, you are indigenous to your land. From the days of Abraham and Sarah to King David and Solomon's temple to the divine stand at Masada, your story is one of strength and survival, and no protest, no chant, no hatred can erase that. I will never forget the Jewish contribution to this country in every aspect of our nation's life. Jewish Australians fought, defended and strengthened this land. From Sir Isaac Isaacs, our first Governor General, to Sir John Monash, our greatest war general. Jewish people have stood for freedom, carried our Australian flag with pride, and lived by Australian values while keeping your Jewish identity sacred. You don't burn our flag, you lift it higher. Through love, generosity and justice, Jewish people have helped shape Australia, and for that, I hold deep love and gratitude for you all. Even in the darkness, light emerges, love conquers hate, and peace one day will be the eternal victor. Jewish people are the light in the darkness. I see you, I believe you, and I believe in you. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say Amir.
עוד יש מפרש לבן באופק מול ענן שחור כבד כל שנבקש לא
ואם בחלומות הערב עומר עוד אחד רואה כל שנבקש לא יהיה let it be
לכן על ראשנו כוכב, כל שנבקש לא יהיה. אז תן שלווה ותן גם כוח לכל אלה שנאהב, כל שנבקש לא
It went out until 5:30 a.m. I went to sleep just before sunrise. When I woke up, everything had changed. My name is Damon Bloomstein, Aussie born and Israeli raised, and this is my story. But it's not just mine anymore. My story now holds the stories of my friends, some of whom were killed on October 7th, and others whose lives have been forever changed by the war that followed. That is why I'm standing here tonight, despite being terrified of public speaking. That is because I no longer speak only for myself. I speak for those who gave it all and died protecting our country, for those who have lost dear ones, and for all those who are still struggling 2 years in. I live for them. I carry their voices forward, and that has become my most precious purpose. There are moments from that day that are etched in my memory, frozen in time. I remember the feeling of my heart dropping to my stomach as the truth started to sink in. I remember turning to my parents, desperate for reassurance, and watching the realization on their faces that there was none they could give. I remember sitting with them in our home in Beit Yehoshua, our peaceful moshav in central Israel, watching the news. Everything around us looked so normal. The backyard, the dogs playing in the grass, the coffee on the table. It all looked the same, but nothing was the same. On the television, we saw that Ophir Bloomstein, head of the Shehecheyanu Negev Regional Council, had been murdered by Hamas terrorists while defending the kibbutz he called 90% heaven with 10% of hell, meaning the threat behind the fence just 100 meters away. He was the uncle of one of my close friends, the first person who had died that day. He wouldn't be the last. Soon after, my brother got the call to report to his unit. My father and I drove him to his base. The streets were empty, eerily quiet, except for soldiers in uniform rushing to get to their bases. Burned down cars were scattered across the roads, like a scene from a zombie apocalypse. We said goodbye, not knowing when's the next time we will see each other and not knowing what's ahead. Then came the funerals. As a young girl, I had never been to one before. Suddenly, I was going to multiple funerals a week, sometimes even multiple a day. What I'm describing here is not just stories about trauma or grief. This is our reality. Real people, my age and even younger, and I'm only 20. Fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, daughters, and sons. In the army, you have a role. You're given something helpful for the people and for the country is what makes us able to power through it. Because somehow, amidst the grief, we have to keep living. We were moving in two gears, one slowly grinding through trauma, the other searching for joy, connection, and meaning. That's where the phrase, "we will dance forever," came from, Nirkov Lanetzach, regarding the Nova Festival. In time, we found solace at Kikama Chatofim in Tel Aviv. It became a kind of emotional headquarters, a place to gather, grieve, and begin to heal. We shared our stories, wrote messages to the hostages, hoping they might hear them somehow, tried to transform sorrow into something good. There's no guide or manual on how to act or what's right and what's wrong during this difficult time. But here's the thing. We are not alone in our grief, and that gives us strength. That trauma and solidarity that's shared between every generation of our people is our superpower. I want to tell you about a close friend of mine, Noam Barzilai, or as we called him, Balzi. Balzi was killed by a Hezbollah missile attack in Lebanon, as well as 8 other soldiers from different units who were ambushed by terrorists. This happened exactly 1 year ago in Rosh Hashanah. Balzi was kind and compassionate. He was a good person who believed in other people and made you feel seen. And he loved green apples. So in his memory, his family partnered with the main producer of green apples in Israel to supply green apples with stickers that read, "Balzi's apples." They were sold in every supermarket right on time for Rosh Hashanah. This Rosh Hashanah, as I dipped apples in honey, I thought of him. I always will. The kibbutz he was guarding before the incident in Lebanon, Manama, was completely destroyed. His family and friends took initiative and are now rebuilding it brick by brick in his memory. And that just shows the kind of people we are. Today as we speak, 48 of our sisters and brothers who were held hostage by Hamas terrorists for 2 years, in brutal conditions to say the least, are finally being released. The dead to be respectfully buried, the living to be hugged by their families who have been aching and begging for their return. Now, we can finally breathe again. Now this war can finally end and we can begin the journey to healing. The next stages may be hard and may continue to bring uncertainty to our lives. But the future is bright for the country of Israel. I truly believe that from this deep hurt of ours, beautiful things will sprout. These people have been through hell and back, and that's what makes them so capable, powerful, and resilient. The next generations of Israelis are all heroes who will become great leaders due to what they went through. My message is, we rise from the grief we experience. We are inspired and empowered to continue being the strong nation and country that we are. That's our duty. People often ask, how can we help? So in closing, let me tell you. First, be kind to each other. Show up for one another. The emotional and mental benefits of doing good for others are real. Support Israel in your own way. It all makes a difference. But I also want to ask something deeper of you. When you meet an Israeli, perhaps at a cafe, at a Shabbat dinner, on your travels, remember what they're carrying. Appreciate the unspoken stories behind their smiles. Respect the resilience behind their silence. We stand together and we are strong. Thank you. Am Yisrael Chai.
This event was planned to be a night of somber reflection. Hope for the safe return of the living hostages was all but lost. The brave men and women of the IDF were still locked in deathly battle. And as we were scheduled to meet tonight, a short distance away at the Opera House, those who despise us and this country were to rally to glorify the October 7 attacks and chant their slogans of death at us once more. How quickly things can change if the effort is sustained. Tonight we meet, yes, to remember October 7 always. But we gather also to celebrate the coming return of our hostages who will soon, please God, be in the unending embrace of their families and our Israel. We celebrate that the soldiers will soon return to lives of adventure beyond the battlefield. And we celebrate what we pray will be a time of peace for all the people who seek it. Peace which has been made possible by the defeat of the forces of misery and death. How has this victory been achieved? It has come through the heroism of the people of Israel, who upon seeing the limits of human savagery on October 7, did not cower. They rose up and moved towards it, descended into tunnels and entered the booby-trapped buildings of Gaza to face evil and to confront it. Victory was earned through their courage and through American diplomatic strength, and we will always be grateful for both. 914 soldiers have made the ultimate sacrifice. They fell so that Israel may stand. They are heroes, every one, and we will never forget them. And through it all, whether they realized it or not, the people of Israel filled us with courage to stare down the Iranian terror plots and the attacks on our synagogues, our livelihoods, our homes, our very identities as Jewish Australians. The existence of Israel means we will always have somewhere to go. Yet Israel has also taught us how to stand our ground and fight. Tonight, I want to honor each of you, our community, and those who have stood with us. The unsung heroes who fought the legal battle that helped ensure that the attack on our community that took place on the steps of the Sydney Opera House 2 years ago would not be repeated today. The unsung heroes who gathered in dignity and strength to read the names of the hostages week after week for 2 years so that their plight would never be forgotten. The unsung heroes who have stood up for our community in the arts, where they seek to boycott us, in schools and universities, where they seek to intimidate and harass us, in the medical profession, where psychotic nurses vow to harm us. The thousands upon thousands who have conveyed their love and solidarity with the Jewish community and their revulsion at what has been allowed to happen in this country. And those who risked everything to do what they simply knew was right, to speak up and stand alongside us in the spirit of mateship. And those who, in the face of cold stares and violent threats and concrete barriers, still went to our synagogues, attended communal events, late to fill in the streets, wore their Jewish identities with defiance and pride when it seemed easier to just submit. To each of you, I say thank you. And every one of you who has maintained our unity as a people, who has responded to hatred with courage, to slander with truth, to abuse with dignity. And while this is a long way from being over, and the fight for our rights and freedoms will long continue, we have shown that together we can overcome it all by never taking a backward step, and always being true to who we are as Australians, as Jews, as Zionists. Thank you, my friends.
Return of the hostages to their families in Israel.
We stand united with the Jewish people here in Australia and right across the world.
You've been put through something that no community should have been put through. And I'm very impressed by the way the Jewish community confronts it head on.
As political leaders, we must commit ourselves to the safety, human dignity, and freedom of Jewish people.
On this second anniversary, we remember more than just the tragedy of October 7th.
My hope is that Australians, Jewish and non-Jewish, can all come together and combat anti-Semitism and hate in all its forms.
I am with you. Many stand with you for Israel's right to exist.
Our support is yours. We are one of Israel's closest friends.
We stand in support of Jewish Australians, and we also highly value and respect your foundation values.
We want to extend our friendship and support, recognising the hardships and looking forward to a better future together.
We stand with the Jewish people and choose hope over hate.
I just want to extend my deepest sympathy to Australia's Jewish community. Please know that those of us in the regions stand in support of you.
I'm not Jewish or Israeli, but that does not matter, because I'm with you.
we are not alone. The silent majority of Australians support the Jewish community and condemn all forms of anti-Semitism and racism.
I want to say to Jewish people here in Australia my commitment to help to fight anti-Semitism.
Now more than ever, we must stand together with the Jewish community, united in our determination to bring the remaining hostages home.
In Parliament recently, I had the honour of hosting Ali Sharabi, a hostage captured from Kibbutz Be'eri, who was held by Hamas for almost 500 days. And his simple message to me and the other parliamentarians was to remember the hostages, to speak their names and to continue to call for their release.
I proudly stand with our Jewish community in this time.
We will continue to stand beside you today and every day.
Your grief, your resilience and your courage matter. You carry forward resilience that inspires the entire nation. It inspires me.
We stand with you. We'll do whatever we can to ensure the safety and security of our fellow Jewish Australians.
We stand with you against anti-Semitism, intolerance and violence today and always.
We will never allow individuals to celebrate rape, murder and kidnappings to take root in Australia.
The Jewish community is resilient and does not stand alone because we are all made weaker by acts of anti-Semitism.
Israel was cut off at her knees on October 7th, and she has been facing a very steep hill ever since. She's destined to reach her peak with or without us. Why not with us?
We stand with you unashamedly, not just in the hard times, but in the good times. And we will always be there to say, as Christians, we support you.
Today, I stand solid with the Jewish Australians, praying for the safe return for hostages and for healing.
You are not alone. You have more friends than you know. We are standing with you and sending you our love, our strength, our solidarity, and our prayers.
Your values, resilience, unity, faith and courage are an inspiration, and know that Australia is your home. We continue to pray for the safe return of the remaining hostages. Am Yisrael Chai.
We are with you. The vast majority of Australians are also with Israel. Am Yisrael Chai. God bless.
In the days that followed that attack, we received heartfelt messages of solidarity from many friends and allies across Australia. But alongside that support, we also witnessed something deeply disturbing, an eruption of anti-Semitic hate that many of us had never seen before in this country. The mask came off. What had long simmered beneath the surface was unleashed with a venom that caught us off guard. In the last 12 months alone, the Jewish Board of Deputies has received and case managed hundreds of anti-Semitic incidents. Each one represents fear, pain, and a sense of isolation that too many of our people have felt. We saw anti-Semitism infiltrate our schools, universities, workplaces, spaces that should be safe. And too often, to our dismay, there were no consequences. The silence was deafening. It sent a message that whilst racism is condemned, antisemitism is somehow tolerated. In the face of this darkness, something extraordinary happened. Our community rose. We mobilized, we organized, we supported one another. WhatsApp groups became lifelines. Letters were written to leaders demanding accountability. Week after week, names of hostages were read aloud in public, refusing to let them be forgotten. I took on this role at JBD because, like many of you, I wanted to do more, to stand up, to speak out, and to protect our community. And what a journey it has been. I'm proud to be part of a team that is tackling the scourge of anti-Semitism we have seen unfolding in this city and state. From advocating for stronger hate speech laws, securing funding for community safety, and ensuring our voices are heard at the highest levels. And just this week, together with the ECAJ and the Jewish Centre for Law and Justice, we brought our community's voice before the Supreme Court of New South Wales to stop one of our most cherished landmarks being used as a platform for hate. JBD will continue to stand with you, to advocate on your behalf, and to walk towards a New South Wales where Jewish people can live freely, safely, and proudly. But we are just one part of this extraordinary community, and tonight I want to thank each and every one of you for your courage, your tenacity, contributions, and above all, your unity. We have shown that when we come together, we are powerful, we are resilient, we are unbreakable. We will not be silenced, we will not be diminished. We will continue to be a light unto the nations. And as we stand here tonight, our hearts are still heavy. The road ahead is still long, but we will walk it together. Today, we can be cautiously hopeful. We have been waiting with aching hearts for our hostages to come home, for an end to the war in Israel, and for Israel to begin to heal. We are filled with deep gratitude to the brave soldiers of the IDF who have defended our homeland with courage and conviction, and whose sacrifice has brought us to this moment. And we are slowly but surely pushing back the hate we have seen unleashed. Today is a somber moment, but also a reminder of our strength, our ability to not just endure, but to rebuild trust, to renew the bonds that tie us to friends and allies across faiths and cultures, to rebuild our sense of place and belonging in case it is right to take away. For the first time in 2 years, today is a day to think about what comes next. I'm Israel Chai.
There are tears of pain and sorrow all happening. There are also tears of hope and belief as we know good days are coming. And there are tears of excitement of good things that are happening already. When I met with our keynote speaker, Geoffrey Majzner, I had tears in my eyes and I knew it's a mixture of all three. Please give a very warm welcome to a friend, to an inspiration, to a true hero from Kibbutz Be'eri, coming to tell his story, coming to tell us about his sister, Galit Carbone. Please welcome Geoffrey Majzner.
Hi. By the way, all this Geoffrey Danny business, it's the same person, so don't look for another one. It's here. Yeah, I was born in Sydney many years ago, but most of my life I spent in Israel, on Kibbutz Be'eri, and I was there on the 7th of October. Now I'm here, and I've been all over Australia, and I'm going to continue to tell the story and let people know that this tragedy really happened. So I'll just take you through the day shortly, and anyway, 6:30 in the morning, October 7th, 2023. Just about to leave my place on the kibbutz and take my normal bike ride that I usually do on the Sunday morning. 6:30, as you know, the rockets went all over the place, and I stopped for a while, waited for it to go. Then I said, okay, it's time to go on. And I was just about to reach the gate of the kibbutz, and then there was another rocket attack. And I said, no, that's too much. I turned around and went back to my place. But little I knew at the time that 150 meters ahead, the Hamas terrorists were already there. So, yeah, you can call it luck, you can call it divine providence, or hashgacha in Hebrew. So I turned around, went back to my place, and I was there for quite a few hours after. And then in the middle of the day, you know, after all these text messages from the family and friends, I got a phone call from my sister. She says, I can hear them in my house, I don't know what to do, I don't know if I lock the door. And I said, okay, first of all, let's whisper, so they won't hear. And soon the army will come and rescue, and everything will be fine. Nothing was fine, the army didn't come. In fact, the army, probably took 7 hours for the army to come, and that was way, way too late for 102 members of my community. 4 of them hopefully will be back and be brought to permanent burial in Kibbutz Be'eri. It's Dror and Meni and Sar and Yossi. I put down the phone with my sister Galit. Apparently she text messaged her daughter Michele 10 minutes after, and that was it. Haven't heard from her ever since. We lost contact, obviously. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, when I'm still in my safety room on my own, the army finally came and rescued me, like many others of the kibbutz. Now I just want to share this bit of thrilling story that there were some houses that the army arrived and they said, it's the IDF, open the door, we came to take you out to freedom. And the people just didn't want to open, they thought maybe it's Hamas in disguise. So they said, prove it, it's you. And then they said, oh, my number is blah, 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 my name is this, and I'm from whatever. And they said, no, not good enough. So we don't know yet if it was the people from inside the safety rooms or it came from the IDF soldiers, but they said, okay, let's say Shema Israel. And they said, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, and they understood it's not the Hamas terrorists, it's the IDF, and they opened the doors. And that was in itself a thrilling story for myself when I heard it, and I could try and keep telling it again and again. Yeah, so that was it. Anyway, I was rescued after to the Dead Sea, and then from there when I was in Tel Aviv for over a year, and I was committed to work on the kibbutz every day. Meanwhile, I've got a new granddaughter. She's 11 months now, and when people talk about the light, for me, she's the light. She's the reason to get up every morning and say yes. As Ambassador said, you know, there is the light. Choose life. That's basically it. I want to show you guys, big crowd here, that I was last week at the Parliament House. I met with some really lovely, warm, welcoming people. Some of them are here tonight. Thank you so much for making my day really interesting and worthwhile coming over. And when people come to Israel and I take them on the tours of the kibbutz, the first thing I do is show them the new houses that we're rebuilding our community. And it's something I'm really proud of, and I know we're going to rebuild the place again and again and again till everyone will come back. I know that not all of the members of the kibbutz will return, but whoever's going to be, is going to make it a stronger community. And I just want to end with hope that tomorrow, the day after, all of them will come back from Gaza, and thank you very much.
Avinu, Avinu, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. הגן עליה בעברת חסדך ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. הגן עליה בעברת חסדך ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ושלח אורך ועמידך אשר צרע ויוצא בעצה טובה ומלפניך ותקנה בעצה טובה מלפניך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים,
Thank you, Yossi. Thank you, Nova, Talia, and to everyone who has helped to organise this second commemoration event of the brutal terrorist attack perpetrated against Israel by Islamic extremists on October 7, 2023. I am truly grateful and honoured to be invited here to be with you all on this solemn occasion as we come together with our shared humanity to stand united against hate and prejudice. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this part of the country that we gather on today and tonight, and pay my respects to all the elders, past and present, and to all First Nations people here now. I would also like to take this opportunity to pay homage to my mother and give thanks for my mother, Auntie Barbara. Because of her, I am. And a special thank you goes out to all the mothers. Because of you, we are. To the Honourable Israeli Ambassador to Australia, who I've had the pleasure of meeting before. To the Honourable here and the MPs-elect and distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, my fellow Australians, my brothers, my sisters, my aunties, my uncles, my grandmas, my grandfathers. My name is Michael McDonogh. I'm a very proud great-great-grandson and direct descendant of the late great Uncle William Cooper. Yorta man, born in 1860, and he passed away in Melbourne in 1941. In 1938, within a week of what is known as Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass, that was the start of the Holocaust, Uncle William Cooper started to organise an official letter of protest by Australia's First Nations people, demanding that the Nazi government of Germany should stop now their cruel persecution of the Jewish citizens of Europe and Germany. Back then, they would refuse to accept the letter. On the 7th of October 2023, the State of Israel and the Jewish people suffered from a brutal, unjustified terrorist attack. Not by Nazi white supremacy ideology that encourages anti-Semitism, but by something just as evil and bad for humanity. By Hamas, Islamic ideology that encourages anti-Semitism and wants to destroy the West and create an Islamic caliphate. Like the stand my ancestor took in 1938 against the Nazis, I am here again to stand against racism and anti-Semitism and to declare my support for the State of Israel and to the Jewish people for their right to exist, to be safe and to live in peace. We, Australia, did not dance in the street or celebrate the terrorist attack by Islamic extremists against America on 9/11. We did not dance in the streets or celebrate the terrorist attack by Islamic extremists against Australia in Bali in 2002. And I note today is the 23rd anniversary of that day. We did not celebrate a terrorist attack by Islamic extremists in France or any other attack by Islamic extremists. Nor did we celebrate the terrorist attack against New Zealand by white supremacists who tried to encourage Islamophobia. I do not understand why some of my fellow Australians and other people around the world think that it's okay to celebrate or even support a terrorist attack by Islamic extremists ever. It's just not right. I want you to know that I grieve with you and I see your sadness. And I also feel all of your pain and your sorrow. But I also know of your people's strengths and of your courage and of your resilience. With your stamina to endure everything you have to, with your patience and pride. I am inspired by your community and your story to be a better man and a better human being. Each new day being guided by strong Jewish Christian values and a strong moral compass. I need to acknowledge all the first responders and all of those who risk their lives to save others. Your efforts are truly noble. To all the victims and survivors who are suffering from physical injury or from trauma, I am with you always, trying to give you comfort and strength, with lots of love and hope to make each new day feel better than the last. To all the families, to all the friends, and to all the loved ones, big, massive hugs and lots of love every day as you try to live and cope with the tremendous burden of your losses. To the IDF sons and daughters who have served and made the ultimate sacrifice for a safer Israel, for our freedoms, and in the hope for a better world, thank you very much. Thank you. Sadly, my friends, the cost we must pay for peace and freedom is always way too high, and for some, much more painful than the others. In 1917, in World War I, one of Uncle William Cooper's sons, Daniel, and others served and made the ultimate sacrifice for this country, for our freedoms, and in the hope for a better world. Australia's First Nations people are Indigenous to this land, and the Jewish peoples are Indigenous to the lands of Judea and Samaria. Our mobs will always have a strong connection. In closing, let me finish by saying thank you all for your time, for your attention, for your patience. Please, everyone, travel back home safely as you have travelled here safely. And always stand strong, always stand tall, always stand united. And please, always remember, I am my brother's keeper, and I am my sister's keeper. B'Tselem Elokim Am Israel Hai.
Hello everyone, my name is Yali and this is Yorta. We are both 18 years old, Shinshinim from Israel, volunteering this year with the BJE as part of our gap year through the Jewish Agency here in Sydney. Before the 7th of October, our lives looked like those of any other teenagers. School, friends, and youth movements. But in a single morning, that sense of normality shattered. That morning changed not only our lives, but the way we understood what it means to be part of a community. We learned that what sustains us is not only the strength of our army, but the strength of our people, the Jewish community in Israel and around the world. We are proud to serve in the IDF, not because we must, but because we want to. That pride is at the heart of our resilience. In the weeks that followed October 7th, my community in Israel showed me what resilience truly means. My parents, together with neighbors and friends, immediately began organizing whatever we could, delivering food to hospitals for the wounded and their families. In moments like these, we couldn't remain indifferent. Instead of sinking into the pain and the horrifying images, we gathered ourselves, mobilized the community, and began collecting supplies. Very quickly, my home became a center of action, sending trucks filled with medical equipment, food and warm meals to soldiers and to families who have been evacuated. Each delivery we made was more than just a box of supplies. It was a message. You are not alone. That is the power of community in Israel. In moments of despair, we rise together. In times of fear, we choose to give. There is no other country in the world where people so naturally stand shoulder to shoulder for one another. But my story is only one example. Across Israel, countless families face even greater challenges. And that is where Yorda's story begins.
Like many of us, in the last 2 years, my life was turned upside down. After October 7th, my father was called to the army, and the war forced my family and me to leave our home in Kibbutz Be'eri, near the border with Lebanon. I didn't even have the time to say